Hello, everybody. What's going on? Jeff Rieger, another episode of the Daily Ticket. This one for a Tuesday. It's the 23rd of January. It's 2024. And was yesterday a daze for you? Was yesterday a dream? How great was it? Walking around realizing that the Detroit Lions are one game away from a Super Bowl. Something we never, ever thought would happen. If we're being completely honest as Detroiters, whether you wanted to think like this, whether you admit that you think like this, we all do. We never thought this was for us. Yeah, we love the NFL. We love the Lions. But any thought of an actual Super Bowl, it was always a pipe dream. Any thought of an actual Super Bowl, it was always a fantasy. In fact, I think we've all had our Super Bowl fantasies. You're lounging around one day and you're thinking to yourself, what would it be? What would it be like to actually get to witness the Lions in a Super Bowl? To know that the Lions got to play in the big game during the bye week before the Super Bowl. Think of all the coverage. Think of all the stories. Think about the fact that the entire sports world would be focusing on you. We've all thought about it. We never thought it would happen to us, and now you're one game away. One game away, and the great thing about it is it's a winnable game. Go back to the last time the Lions went to the NFC title game. It was in 1992. I remember it well. I was a freshman in high school. I thought back then this was going to happen all the time. But even back then, and I was even dumber than I am now, right? Because I was young and stupid. Even back then, I knew the Lions had no chance against the Redskins team that was going to pummel them. And what happened? They got pummeled. The point spread went up like 10 points when they saw Washington practicing pregame. Like, I kid you not. Detroit had no chance. But I always thought, okay, they'll get back. I was stupid. I didn't realize it was going to be 30 years that I would have a family by the time they got back. I never realized that back then. But over the course of the last 30 years, we all think it. We all believe it. We don't believe the Super Bowl's for us. We've been brainwashed. We've been beaten down. And now this team with those guys are one game away. You ever think about a Super Bowl fantasy? Like what you would do if the Lions were in the Super Bowl? We might get to find out. I came up with my plan years ago. Before I had a family, I always thought to myself I would go to the casino because I wouldn't be able to sleep. Neither would you. I'd go to the casino all Saturday night, probably stay out till 5, 6, 7 in the morning, probably take a whole lot of money and gamble it away, go home, hopefully fall asleep from sheer exhaustion, wake up, set about 17 alarm clocks to make sure I did wake up, and then watch the game in total isolation. Maybe have one drink. But not too many, because I want to be clear-headed. I don't want to miss a detail. I don't want to forget a thing. I thought about this. Everybody has their Super Bowl fantasy. Maybe you would try to go to the game. Maybe you would spend your life fortune trying to get tickets, because it would be expensive. I've already started looking at Las Vegas hotel rooms, just because I'm curious. They're fucking expensive. Ridiculous. But we're one game away. We're one game away. And it truly is amazing. So here's what I want to do with this podcast. I'm going to give you some of the things that maybe we missed on Sunday. When a game of that magnitude happens, and we figured this out a week ago when you beat Stafford and the Rams, you kind of see some things slip through the cracks. You can't talk about everything in one podcast. Podcast only 15 to 20 minutes. You miss stuff, right? So I got some stuff that I highlighted that I want to give to you. Stuff that maybe we all missed on Sunday when the game was going on. And I did want to start with my elevator with the stars story. So at Ford Field, everybody in the media, the front office too, they watch the game way up on the 7th floor. So you get into the building and you take the elevator or the stairs if you want a little workout, and you go all the way up to the 7th floor. But when the game ends, all the media converges on the elevator area. And of course, on Sunday, there were so many people and so much media that it became a little claustrophobic. It really did. Anyway, we're waiting for the elevator. We must have shoved like 50 bodies into one single elevator. Literally no more room. And I was one of the last ones in, which meant I was right where the doors opened. And when you're going down 7 floors, there's a whole lot of fans trying to leave the building. So they are summoning the elevator. So you're going to stop on your way down. We started at 7. Then we stopped at 5. Door opens up. Who do I see? Bob Seger. Detroit's own big-time rock star, big-time Lions fan. Bob Seger wanted to get onto the elevator, and I'm like, oh, Bob, I love you, baby. I love you. However, there's no room. Look around. We denied Bob Seger. Like in a different world, Bob might have thought like somebody would get out so he could get in, but he had to wait for the next elevator. How about that? A rock star having to wait. Kind of felt good. But at the same time, I'm like, holy crap, that was Bob Seger. So that was the 5th floor. We go down to the 3rd floor. Elevator opens. Again, I'm in front. I see Jeff Daniels. First Bob Seger, then Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels from like Dumb and Dumber. Jeff Daniels from one of the more underrated TV shows of all time, The Great Newsroom. Sensational show. If you haven't watched it, it's like 10 years old, maybe a little older. Check it out on HBO or Cinemax. Fabulous. Jeff Daniels wanted to get in the elevator. Nope. Sorry. So we've denied Seger on the 5th floor, Daniels on the 3rd floor. And then we went all the way out into the basement. And as people were filing out of the elevator, guess who was in our elevator? Calvin Johnson. So Bob Seger, Jeff Daniels, and Calvin Johnson, all within the span of like, I don't know, a minute and a half. Awesome. The Lions must be in the postseason. All of the Detroit Stars were out. I was hoping I'd see Eminem, but I'm pretty sure he's got like some secret entrance that they get him in and out of. But that's my elevator with the Stars story. I don't know if that was entertaining or not. I don't know if that was good content, but I did want to share it with you because I did feel special hanging out with the Stars of Detroit. Here's the other thing I wanted to tell you about. And I know this went under the radar because it's from the Bucs side of things. When the Lions are 1 game away from the Super Bowl, the traders are not going out searching for Bucs content. That's what I'm here for. So remember last week, it was all about Kelly Stafford and Matthew Stafford. Matthew loses, go to the podium, and he says, I'm happy for the players, but not for the city of Detroit. Like he played here 12 years. I thought that was a bitchy comment. I think we all did. People wondered, well, maybe we booed him, so Matthew was upset. We proved to you that Matthew was not upset by the booing. He actually was probably invigorated by it because he was mic'd up during the game. He was just being a little butthurt because Detroit beat him. And he realized Jared Goff was a better quarterback than him, maybe. Okay, maybe I've gone too far, but whatever. Let me roll with it. So Matthew Stafford showed you how not to be grateful, how not to be classy. Kelly Stafford went on her podcast, the fans booed my kids. Then she realizes how she sounded. She sounded ridiculous. She walked it back. But the fans booed me. No, they didn't, Kelly. They were booing the Rams. Although maybe they booed you. I don't know. But between Matthew and Kelly, it was ridiculous. But then Baker Mayfield comes to town. Baker Mayfield, a reclamation project like Matthew Stafford, a first overall pick of the draft. Flamed out in Cleveland. Flamed out in Carolina. Caught on for a couple games with the Rams last year. Should have beat the Seahawks, screwed the Lions because he couldn't, even though he did, because the NFL came out and said that was the worst officiated game of the year. But whatever, nobody's holding grudges here. You're 1 game away from the Super Bowl. But I thought this comment was interesting from Baker Mayfield because Matthew Stafford was here for 12 years. You thought he would be happy for the city of Detroit. Baker Mayfield is happy for the city of Detroit. Take a listen. I thought this was fantastic.
Yeah, this is a great atmosphere. You can tell this city's had a lot of pent-up emotion and been waiting a long time for this. I can't say that I exactly went through it in Cleveland when we made our playoff run because it was COVID year, but this place, they've earned that. Dan Campbell's done a hell of a job turning this thing around. I'm happy for Jared, and they have a lot of good players, and so they play hard. You can tell this city, they play for each other, and so it was a great atmosphere, and they got the best of us.
So there you go, Baker Mayfield. Sounds like he's happy for the city of Detroit. He gets it. He understands. He played in Cleveland. They're rabid football fans as well. Baker Mayfield just showed Matthew Stafford that when you lose, you can still be classy. I thought that was pretty cool. I did. What also was cool was Dan Campbell and his locker room celebration. So the Lions do a great job of this. Their social media team is awesome. And every time the Lions win throughout the course of the season, they show you Dan Campbell's celebration in the locker room. You knew this one was going to be special considering you're one game away from the Super Bowl. Derek Barnes, of course, is going to get the game ball. You know he will because he got the pick to end the game in the fourth quarter. Take a listen to Dan Campbell in the locker room. I love when the Lions do this. This one's awesome.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you, we talked about it all year. This started a long time ago. You're built for this. You're built for this, man. And look what you guys did. You went out there, and it's another hot team that we knocked off. It's the next hot team that you knock off. Do you know how hard it is to win in this league in the playoffs? Do you understand what you're doing right now? What we're capable of? That's two. All right? That's two. We got two to go. With a bye in the middle. I'm unbelievably proud of everybody in here, man. Coaches, players. That's the way to mount up, man. That's a fucking difficult team to beat, man. All right, I got one game ball. Man, in the game, need to fucking play. Derek Barnes.
Hey, man, love y'all boys, man. From the support in the linebacker room, the coaches, staff, organization, offense, man. 3 years, man. It took me 3 years to get the first interception. But it means more because the people who believed in me. A lot of people didn't. The room. This ball, I got to give it to the linebacker room because I said we was going to bring one back, and God, we did. And you got to believe how far we can go, man. Believe it now. Believe it now. This is a good win. Enjoy it, man. This comes once in a lifetime. Like Alex used to tell me, man, a lot of people don't make it this far, but we did, man. And love everybody in this room, man. Everybody in here deserve it. That's why we here, like Coach said. Hey, man, time to prepare for San Fran.
All right, you got to love that. My favorite part of that entire thing, other than Derek Barnes getting the game ball, said it took him 3 years to get a pick. By the way, he's got a 2-week-year-old son. I guess it would be 2-week-old, not 2-week-year-old. But he's got a 2-week son, 2-week-old son at home, and he's going to give that game ball to him. Pretty awesome. His son was at the game. So he gets the big pick. Lions get the big win. And I just got this text from a buddy. This is the sports page from the New York Post. Look at that. If you're watching on YouTube, the real America's team. Lovable Lions just one way from Super Bowl after beating Bucs. How about that? Did you ever think that was going to happen? The answer is probably not. What else do I have for you? What else did we maybe miss? I have some great Jared Goff stats I wanted to throw your way very quickly. How about Jared Goff in the postseason averaging a 112 rating? That's pretty damn good. First time in the postseason on Sunday, he threw for more than one touchdown. Jared Goff in 40 games has a passer rating of 99.7 with the Lions. He has 50 more touchdowns than picks. He makes people around him better. Laporta, St. Brown, Reynolds, J-Mo. And more than anything, he's our quarterback. Like, we knew this last week when Dan Campbell gave him the game ball and said, you're good enough for Detroit. He's going to get paid. It's going to be a lot of money. Nobody gives a fuck. Pay the man, lock him up. And yes, does he have his limitations? Of course. Is he mobile? No. We don't care. We don't need to talk about this. Find a way to protect the man, and he will shred you. Just like he did to Tampa, just like he did to LA, and just like he's going to do against the Niners, at least in my opinion. We'll talk more about Jared Goff as the week comes to a close. Lions also have 14 wins, most ever in franchise history. Lions also have won back-to-back playoff games. That's never happened in the franchise as well. And they have not won a road playoff game in like 70 years. The last one was against the Niners. They just happened to be playing the Niners. All good. All good things. What else? How about this? CJ Gardner-Johnson got his troll revenge. You know, he trolled Baker Mayfield. He said early on that the Bucs offense would be good if they had a good quarterback. Baker heard that, said CJ should watch more film because he named a guy that hasn't played a snap all year at receiver. Then CJ tweeted out, I watch film, and it was a picture of Tom Brady smashing his Surface tablet because CJ Gardner-Johnson picked him off. He then deleted that tweet. Well, CJ Gardner-Johnson is back, people. He's tweeted again, and this time it's a picture of him handing the ball to Baker Mayfield after he picked Baker off. Now, that's fucking awesome. That's so good. We like Baker. Baker was classy in the loss, but that is fucking cool. I love CJ Gardner-Johnson. Also, speaking of trolling, how about Amon-Ra St. Brown? He gets the touchdown in the fourth quarter. What does he do? He does the Baker Mayfield dance. I didn't pick up on that. I saw that on Monday morning when I woke up. Somebody tweeted it out. I had no idea. That's pretty awesome as well. I like when the Lions are trolling teams, not when they're getting trolled like so many years in the past. Also, I got a big revelation. I want to save it for tomorrow. Something I realized in the locker room walking around Sunday at Ford Field. So we'll do that on tomorrow's podcast. But before we go, I want to bring you one more thing. Because I had no idea this was even a thing, but it was. So Todd Bowles might have really screwed up. At the very end of the game, you remember what happened. Derek Barnes picked up Baker Mayfield, and that was it. It was over. It was a 2-play drive for the Bucs. 2nd and 5 at the Tampa Bay 15. It was a great pick by Barnes. He went up to grab it, great hands, secured it, said after the game, no way he's dropping it, right? So the Lions take over the football. 1st and 10 at Tampa Bay's 28. There was 1:33 left to go in the game. Jared Goff, victory formation, kneels. Then 2nd 11 at 1:06. Jared Goff, victory formation, kneels. Then 3rd and 12. There's 34 seconds left in the game, people. 34 seconds left in the game. Bucs got a timeout. For some reason or another, Todd Bowles did not call a timeout. You call a timeout, it's an 8-point game. Maybe Michael Badgley misses a 48-yard field goal. It isn't run-of-the-mill, right? Badgley, despite making a 54-yarder the week before, isn't a great kicker. You could miss it, or maybe you block the field goal, go the other way, get the 2-point conversion, and send that game to overtime. Todd Bowles didn't call the timeout. Now, would the Bucs have won? Probably not. But don't you have to exhaust every opportunity to win a football game? That's a bad move by Todd Bowles. Post-game, he said, well, you know what? They were going to get a field goal anyway. Would have been a 2-score game. That's why I didn't call the timeout. No! He might have missed the field goal. Or maybe you blocked the field goal. Crazy shit happens in the postseason. And I'm not saying it would have happened. But go back to like Kirk Cousins and Steph Diggs. Remember what happened in that game against the Saints? Last play of the game. Diggs scores the touchdown. Got to call the timeout, Todd. That's a bad job. I'm actually on my way to Florida as I speak right now. Going to go play a little golf. I'm going to ask the people in Florida how they feel about that decision. But that's going to do it for the Daily Ticket. Stuff you might have missed on Sunday. Tomorrow, a shocking revelation from the Lions locker room. We'll give that to you and more. Lions are 1 game away from the fucking Super Bowl. Can you believe it? I still can't. Catch you tomorrow. See ya.